Do you ever think, like, when you leave a relationship, because, like, I had, and I'm still, like, doing this transitioning, because what I did realize, in all humility and all vulnerability and all things, that I really opened myself up. I really tried. And it's not necessarily like I'm having a hard time getting over it, but there's a contradiction because I trust myself and I did what I needed to. At times it felt a little rough, but before it got too ugly. But like as you transition and as I like look at the bigger picture and like throughout my life, it's like harder because when you open yourself to get hurt and you know you really don't want to be with that person and you have enough to just know it, and after you analyze yourself and look inside and see the things that you do and then how you've reacted or responded, then to be to the point where, you know, you're not together. Because, like, I haven't been with this person, and I really did try. I'm just using off this, but then I'm going off. And then we had total separation. And then it's like just talking, you know, like I talked to him, like, and I was very transparent and said, I just want to be your friend. But out of looking at myself, like I did that with the truest intention of what I meant in the moment, to find out that I still had an inkling of faith that maybe the words would match up. And I'm not a victim, and I can call someone a narcissist and a gaslighter. I mean, we all are something at one point in our life because of how we were programmed and how we look inward. So it's not like just to give a total diagnosis title vibe, but like it's just as an expression to understand what one will take and their worth in each situation. And like to see people's behaviors and attitudes. I mean, because it's always through the eye of the beholder, realistically anyways. And not one person, there's no such thing as perfect. And we all have things to go through. And sometimes people just don't change. Their words and actions don't match up. You know, they don't walk it like they talk it. I just think of that song. But I don't know. I've been thinking about this because I have been, and I know I totally don't want to be with someone, but it's like, and then I look, and I wouldn't care if that person I was with was with somebody, but then it would bother me a little bit because of all the false narrative and all the things that this person was saying to me, maybe out of desperation, maybe out of codependency, attachment issues. But do we see like down the line with other relationships, even not even with a mate or a person, it could be families or whatever, is like, because you open yourself up and you're so vulnerable, and that's like a good thing. You're open to be hurting because you're open to growing and living and, you know, giving yourself and not being blocked and cold or, you know, open. That sometimes you can cause yourself to, you know, obviously victimize yourself, but also, you know, not really release someone because I think it feels like your ego is like still a little bit in there because you were vulnerable, and it like protects you, but in a way it kind of keeps you a victim and holding a, like, I don't feel like I'm holding a grudge, but I can look back in the past because I'm really working through this, because I really felt like I opened myself up because I waited like 5 years to even try to talk to someone. And I know everything happens for a reason, and I know you know, rejection's protection. It just didn't work out, and I had to cut it off for myself. And it's not to bash the other person. It's just to realize at one moment we were on this level, and then the next moment we're down different paths, different levels. And then it's really a bigger lesson of self-worth, really, and what you will take. And you know, like, and you wait and you have patience, and you want to trust and believe this person will grow, because, you know, you want to give it to yourself too. So if you think you should deserve it, you do it for someone else too. It's not like one-sided. But then it's like, do we notice sometimes we stay stuck in the past because it's really our ego, and we did get hurt, you know, and it's okay. But just to not stay in that place and to really not care. And at what point and how long do you know that you really did try? Like, do you get me? And I think for to each their own, and which transition and how much inwardly we go, and you keep trying, and then you further get manipulated. And not in the victim way, but you do, because you really want to believe it, because I mean, in a sense, you picked that person and you opened yourself up. So it's really ego playing more of a part than even really the reality of the situation, because just trusting yourself and your instincts, like the ego gets in the way, if that's the way to express it. And, you know, most people do it everywhere. It's not like it's so like little, I don't know the word for it. I don't know if you get me, but I've really been analyzing this stuff, because all these things I feel, then I'm like, I don't feel that way, but it's like they're trying to be there, but I don't. And I feel like I am rewiring myself, and I am going through a transition and reprogramming. And yeah, like I'm always going to be open to be vulnerable. I might know my boundaries better, and the things that, you know, I needed to work on that happened. So you know, you're in a situation where you can say you're gaslighted and with a narcissist, but in a way, as a reflection of yourself, you needed it to happen for you, right? Not to you, but happen for you, to really, really analyze, like, whoa, I really have to make a straight cut decision of what I do and don't want, like my worth, my boundaries, and to know you did try to discern yourself, to be patient, to be communicative and everything, just to let it go. And then I think after you're out, and then whichever person, and then this is in a relationship or even friendships, like is talking to someone else already, and then it's like, whoa, you feel like you were in it more. Maybe you were, maybe it was that simple. It was just a test of some codependent, some lesson in a sense that you needed. And we don't always have to have these lessons, but I do feel like after you kind of clear it out, you really know your worth and your boundaries, and then it's not like everything's got to be a lesson, like, because really I realize in the world I am the creator of my life, but I also have these things that were programmed in me to be cleared as well. So with that sense and that aspect of things, it's like you do have lessons, and you do get hurt. Your ego does get you, but then it kind of makes you stay on, because the beautiful thing is you were vulnerable, and you were open to be who you were in the very moment, as we do change. And maybe you didn't realize you had things to work on. So yes, maybe in a sense you think you got full, but you really didn't. If you just can go on and really look deep and realize, like, hey, oh, I really needed that to help me grow and really have boundaries and know my worth. And I think, and not to be jealous or envious, because really when you're true, you're true. And like for me and myself, I understand, like I had all these programs, I like to say, with taking account of how I perceive things. I know who I am, in all in as a friend, as a person I'm with, or whatever. Like if I had a wandering eye or whatever, then you're not really all in. And that's not like what it's all about, but I think relationships are sometimes over sexualized as well, but to each their own in their own way. But I don't know, because I mean, yeah, I'll say it, I don't really care. That might be, I cut a situation off because something wasn't feeling right, and nothing like that happened like in a sense of I got cheated on. I just got majorly manipulated in when I was in the state of being vulnerable. So I was doing what I needed to do to, in a sense, get hurt, to learn my worth and boundaries. It's so fucked up because I'm grateful for it. But then I did find myself like, oh, I don't want to be with this person, but if I saw him with someone else, it would bother me. I think that's like the natural human instincts of ego. But then it's like, I don't even want it. And then I think sometimes you can play yourself and try to get back with that person or see how things were, because it's more out of ego, because you were open and you want to prove yourself right and you did the right thing, instead of just like, it is what it fucking is, you know? Because I don't know. I have been working on the relationship with myself for a long time, realizing I'm my best friend, and then I stopped, you know, I didn't talk with anyone for 5 years to really find myself and work on certain issues, and then to do it, to realize I'm still able to be open, but now I have boundaries, and it's not like blocks or like, oh, you can't be with me. It's just like really analyzing my ego, I guess. And then like if I look at the bigger picture, and even if I observe from the past and my past and even other people or things I'm around, and teach their own, yes, still in their own little way, but if you sum it all up, weirdly, it's like we're all fighting our ego because we did get hurt. And you might know this, but like, how deep do you really fucking know it? Because lately I tried to be with somebody, and you know, I really did, after I worked on myself, and I was vulnerable, and now, you know, then I saw through it, and then I cut it off, and then I had space, and then I did try to not talk but hang out, and I didn't realize, like, I thought I really knew what I wanted, and then I realized I did have some hope still in there. I really thought I didn't, but I did. And then I thought if like the person was with someone else, if that bothered me, then I'm like, it feels a little weird, but then I'm like, no, because I don't even want to be with that person. And then I'm like, why would I be thinking this? And then I'm like, oh, it's because I was open and I got hurt. And it's not really because I still have feelings. And I think that's how people can go back to a toxic relationship, because their egos and their feelings got hurt and they want to be right, but you're going to get the same shit. And it's not saying everyone can grow, but maybe sometimes certain relationships, not even if it's not with the person, you grow. Maybe down the road you might meet again or not. And that's just simply what it is. I don't know. I mean, I do get it. I mean, that's how I feel, because I totally, like, there's no feeling at all, like, to the depth of it. Even after I analyzed if I'd get jealous if they were with someone else. Like, I had a feeling, I analyzed it, and it's done. And then, you know, there's, like, way more to, like, the story and everything. And you try, and then you're comfortable with them. And then you hang out a little bit, and then you have this comfort, but it's really still toxic. And you allow certain emotions and feelings, and, you know, you just allow things because you think you're trying, and you end up sometimes just hurting yourself or burning out your energy, or realizing, oh shit, and then you got to go through like another little weird situation, and then you're really just done. But some people just always stay stuck to that person. Like, I don't know. But I'm grateful for the lesson, because I'm not stuck with that thought of a certain person. I'm like, oh, the experience. It's the experience, because it is not for me. Like, in my soul, in my gut, in my heart, in my, like, everything is not for me. And I'm grateful to see it. And I'm grateful to have conquered those certain karmic, whatever way you want to see it, things, cause and effect, programs, or codependency, insecurity, self-worth, lack of self-love issues. Like, I leveled the fuck up. Peace.